you look defeated. I mean, if I'm looking in your
Yeah,
eyes, and I know
yeah,
you, I'm good at reading people. I'm
yeah,
especially good at reading you. You look dejected, and I don't
yeah.
know. I I I know this factors into, obviously, the fact that you didn't lose weight this week factors into that. Is it more beyond that? Is there something beyond the fact that this scale didn't go down this week that is playing into the fact that you're just feeling a bit down and maybe contributed to the weight gain? Is there something, like, if you had lost a pound this week, would you have been so ecstatic and you would have been in very big smile on your face and you would have been happy go lucky? Because it feels like, yeah, of course it could just be this alone, or it could be just the aggregate of everything that is has just caused you to sort of feel as if you're no longer, you have that inspiration that's carrying you through, that you've had for the past 4 months.
Yeah, I mean, I think the health setback, I don't wanna make that an excuse, but I think that was
Well, it's reality.
affecting my mentality a little bit,
Hmm.
and, so, yeah, that probably, has taken a little bit of my enthusiasm in general for everything away
Yeah.
to some degree,
Right.
and so,
Right.
I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm depressed or anything like that. I don't think that it's like, I'm going about my daily functioning just fine.
Yeah.
My interactions with people are totally fine. But I'm probably more subdued in
Yeah.
general, like not as probably not as just I don't know what my normal personality is when I'm
Yes.
just
I know what you're
at
talking about.
ease and just happy go lucky. Uh,
Yes.
it's probably not on that level right now.
Yeah. It's a mild depression for sure. It's anybody that experiences a setback is gonna go through those same type of emotions. And some people handle it better than others. Some people spiral all the way down, and then other people are able to, stay afloat. And you're staying afloat, no problem. It's just this part of it, the fact that this is part of your life. You're trying to achieve something that literally it's literally contradictory to what it is that your brain wants to do when you're depressed. Okay. I mean, there's a literal, I mean, think about this. I'm not feeling great, so I want to eat. Like, I want to enjoy that's the way that I can enjoy myself. Guaranteed I can have a great time if I'm eating foods that I love, and lots of them. But there's this guy that keeps forcing me to show up every week, and he makes me step on a scale, and that thing's supposed to go down every single week. And how do we reconcile the two? So this is it. Like, if you want to talk about, like, the pivotal moment in this entire process, it's this. It's Jeff at a lower point in life emotionally. What does he do going forward? Because the old Jeff, I can guarantee you, I mean, there'd be no more diet. The diet, there'd be no effort at a diet. It would be completely pushed to the side, and we'd be going up on a weekly basis over and over and over again, and wouldn't even know it because you wouldn't be weighing yourself. It would just be so far gone from having this as a goal at all. So now that you're in it, now that you know, like, there's a situation, I'm not feeling my best mentally, but I'm still showing up every week, and I'm still going to be weighing in, and I'm still going to be going through that process. How can I make this work? How can I reconcile the two? And it's going to be difficult. It's not going to be an easy task, obviously, because you're in a position now where whatever you were eating before, the amount that you were eating before to get you to where you are right now, 26.7 pounds lost, whatever it took to get you there. Normally, you experience a setback like this, and you're going to want to eat a lot more than whatever it is that you were eating before. It's just going to be, that's the natural temptation. That's what would cause Thursday where it was no candy bars to one candy bar. That's where the one went to two. But you look at that fact that I just shared with you, and then on the flip side, you say, well, because I'm on this plan, throughout the week, if I had a plan to eat one candy bar and I ate two, it's a heck of a lot better than what I would have done if I wasn't on this plan, because I'd be eating a lot more than two candy bars, and I would
True.
not be eating protein only for any of those other.
That's true.
It would be just out the window as far as what would be consumed. It would just be those biscuits that you start the day with, which I was initially horrified because until you got to the part of tossing the biscuit, because I said, okay, it's interesting that we're focusing on candy bars when this guy's starting his day with biscuits, but those are tossed in favor of the protein. Well, they would not be tossed in another lifetime in these circumstances. So and this is something that you need to take to heart. Obviously, it doesn't overcome the idea that I gained weight this week. I wish I hadn't. I wish I could get away with what I did on a weekly basis. It would make things easier. Obviously, it makes things a lot easier if you could do whatever you did this week every single week, and I can cash in a pound a week. Maybe that's livable. Maybe that's something I could stick with. I wouldn't have to, pushing the limits beyond that. Maybe I can settle on that. But now it's taking a step back, and that's a challenge. It's something you haven't had to do this entire time. You haven't had to step backwards in terms of what it is that you're doing and say, I'm going to take something away. You were testing the limits to see what can I add, how far can I go, and still achieve results. So it's uncharted territory, but that's the whole point of this process. This is a lifestyle. So life is going to give you curveballs. It's going to give you unexpected events. It's going to take you down certain paths that you don't expect, and it's how you react to those that's going to dictate success or failure in the end. So week to week, we address it as it happens. You make tweaks that you can get away with, that you can live with, in order to try and reconcile the two: the diet that you want to enjoy, plus combine that with what you need to do to get weekly progress, and trying to juggle the two as best you can on a weekly basis. I think this week and that weight gain, I want to try to spin this as you should be overjoyed. They should be over the moon. This is the greatest thing to ever happen to you. It is a positive because it allows you, at this point in time, it allows you to recalibrate and to know what it is next week. I'll just make some tweaks and see how things go. The pressure isn't there. The pressure isn't there for this to turbocharge to 2 pounds a week. There is no pressure. It's going to be a weekly look into what it is that you do and what that leads to. So regardless of if next week it ends up being a pound down, or if next week it ends up being even, or whatever next week happens to be, it's just another experimentation week to see what happens when you decide to tamper things down a bit. If you successfully do so, which I think you can, I think going in with something that you know that you can do and limiting yourself to that, as long as you try and eliminate the possibility of doing more, I think it can work in your favor. I think you can accomplish that. And I think just being more creative, maybe with your other meals, like try to get as best you can excited about protein meals. Like I love ground beef. I love steak. There are certain things that are no carbs that I just enjoy. Bacon. There are things you could have that are going to have no carbs, that are going to not influence your insulin levels, that are going to initiate fat burning. You can have fun with, and it's a shift. It's a mindset shift, because obviously now you gravitate towards the carbs and the sugar, and that's a habit that's been built over many, many years. And I don't expect that to disappear. But if some of those other meals become more interesting to you from the standpoint of protein and fat, then maybe that excitement towards those meals can become a mitigating factor for having to rely on more of the carbs than you really can get away with on this diet. Um, so just trying to think of ways that you can maybe just create some enthusiasm over the fat and protein meals, because there are, I know in my case I do get excited about that, but um I'm a freak, so you can't base anything on what it is that I do in my life and expect that it's going to apply to you. But I do think that if there's a way for you to just get really, really pumped up about some of those higher fat meals, then maybe that can help at least to keep you within a carb level on those other meals, within that one candy bar on Thursday, and throughout the week on each of those work days. And then the weekend will be looser. So, that's going to be the way it is. You're going to have a
Yep.
looser weekend. It's really those weekdays. I think the key is those weekdays, work days. How do I hone in on those work days? What do I do? Do I keep it mainly low carb with one candy bar? If you do that, I think you're back on track.